First, let me thank Mr. John Ryan, who has served, in a sense, as our Alumnus of the Year for the past year. It feels like COVID is a thing of the past in some ways right now, but let's remember how a year ago we celebrated John Ryan under different circumstances with less fanfare than any of us wanted. And with grace and humility, John rolled with it. So thank you very much. We should all give him a round of applause. This year we celebrate from the class of 1959, Mr. Mark Rodi. I wanted to invite him to receive the award a few months ago. So when I took him out to eat. I think he paid the bill. I shouldn't say I took him out to eat. He covered the bill. So he took me out to eat. And I think I caught him off guard when I asked him to be the Alumnus of the Year. He immediately gave me reasons why he shouldn't be the guy, why he didn't think of himself as in the same class of men that he's known to be honored in this way in the past. Just a real sincere humility. He also said he had to get permission from his wife Sharon before he could say yes. So there was that. There was that as well. A quick glance at his bio, and we can see his education and where he's worked and his service in the Army Reserve and the organizations that he has been part of. But for me, what stands out is a little bit more elusive. He knows everyone and their story and where they lived and who lived next to them. Now, I've known a few people like this, and all of them have incredible memories. But a little bit harder to find is someone like Mr. Mark Rodi, who, above being good with names and faces, he actually seems to genuinely care about people, every last one of them. I think this is behind the work that he and his wife Sharon have done for the pro-life cause. I think that Mark knows that life is a precious gift from God and that it must be defended and loved and welcomed into the vast network of people that Mr. Mark Rodi calls friends. So Mr. Rodi, Jesuit is a much better place for having you as our alumnus, and I present to you the F. Edward Hebert Award.
Father Brown, Father McGinn, Father Farge, Father Murphy, and my friend, Brother Todd. Thank you for what you have done for Jesuit High School and the young men who have come here. I really never anticipated standing here acknowledging the selection as Alumnus of the Year for Jesuit. In the fall of 1958, my senior year, the first Alumnus of the Year award was given to Eddie Toribio, class of 34, who had died suddenly the previous summer. He was a dedicated teacher, superior football and track coach, and most of all, a man of faith. I was privileged that I had the opportunity of knowing him. 63 previous honorees have given all of us life lessons to emulate. 3 have been a particular inspiration to me. First, my dad, class of 32, Alumnus of the Year in 1987. When he retired, he volunteered at first in the alumni office, then every day for over the next 20 years, he worked with Boys Hope, Girls Hope. He always reminded me, give back. Second, my classmate of 59, Jack Dardis, Alumnus of the Year in 1986, a decorated military veteran. I often pondered, how does a father of 10 children find time to serve so many charitable organizations? I'm proud to call him friend. The third is my wife's cousin, John Ryan, class of 70, last year's Alumnus of the Year. He passed up a lucrative, or a potentially lucrative, baseball career for business. He moved to Houston to run the company's office. He wound up buying the company. He did not forget Jesuit. When asked by Father McGinn, even though he still lived in Texas, he became the lead donor for John Ryan Stadium. In the last few weeks, I've reflected on the life lessons I learned by my 67 years of involvement with Jesuit, the priest, teachers, classmates, alumni, and school benefactors. I would like to share a few of those lessons. First lesson, generosity. In 1926, Jesuit announced a $500,000 donation from Henry C. Provost for scholarships to young men who needed financial assistance. My dad was a recipient. That donation was the foundation for now 4 generations of Rodi men to attend Jesuit. My dad in 32, brother in 58, Huskin nephews in the 90s. My grandson, Michael Nash, 17, and Merrick Rotolo, my other grandson, now a senior. Many other families have benefited from that one act of generosity in 1926. Lesson learned: be generous, pay it forward. Lesson 2, God comes first. The first day of class as a pre-freshman, our homeroom teacher directed us to put AMDG on every paper we turned in, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, for the greater glory of God. Those letters caught my attention then and still act as a compass to draw me back to a better navigation when I drift off course, resetting my life directions. Lesson learned: God must come first. Lesson 3, give someone a chance. As a pre-freshman, I was the bat boy for the JB baseball team. At season's end, Coach Gode gave tryouts for the Jesuit Babe Ruth team to the resumed 8th graders, of which I was not one. Bill Keenum, a sophomore, yelled, "Hey, Coach, give Mark a chance." He did. I started at second base that summer, and for the next 2 years on the junior varsity team. I observed the same lesson over 10 years later. Mr. Schilling had been our homeroom teacher as freshmen. My friend and classmate, Jim Robarts, wanted to coach basketball when he returned from the Army. Father Schilling, then president of Jesuit Shreveport, didn't need a resume. He hired Jim. Jim was inducted into the Greater New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame in 2019. Unfortunately, he earned it primarily for winning state basketball championships at Rummel, not at Jesuit. We missed a great one. Lesson learned: look beyond the resume, give someone a chance. Lesson 4, get involved, do something worthwhile. At an early age at home and then from my teachers, I was told, get involved. I did. I met hundreds of fellow students, joining the Altar Boys, the Philatelic Society, the annual, the monthly and newspaper and magazine, baseball, basketball, and the sodality. Building relationships with people at work, in the community, have been extremely satisfying to me personally and professionally. The sodality, dedicated to the Blessed Mother, encouraged us to practice the corporal works of mercy. We visited Children's Hospital. We prepared food baskets at Thanksgiving. We learned to be men for others even before Father Pedro Arupe, the general of the Society of Jesus, coined the phrase in 1973. That phrase is now the theme of Jesuit education worldwide. In life, there are many worthwhile causes. Here are a few and the Jesuit men who were role models for me. There is no cause more worthwhile than the battle for life, led from the first day in Louisiana by Jesuit graduates. In 1971, 2 years before Roe v. Wade, Archbishop Hannon called Bob Wynne, class of '56, and asked him to put together a group of men and women to educate Louisianians about abortion. Bob turned to his Jesuit '56 classmates, Pat Brown and Larry McNamara, and Eddie Rice of '59, and the New Orleans and the Louisiana Right to Life was born. They brought in others, some here with us today, Mary Jane Becker, Judy Leggett Martin, my wife Sharon. From those first efforts, Louisiana has almost every year been recognized as the most pro-life state in the country. The battle against abortion is still being fought 50 years later. The Will Woods community. Rooted in prayer, united in service, it provides faith and marriage ministries, offers the community over 1,000 low and middle income housing units, operates WLAE TV, and streams thedailymass.com. John Becker, 57, and Pat Vetters have been multi-year chairmen of the Board of Trustees. Ron Yeager, class of '79, is its executive director. Life renewal lessons. Bubby Kubel, 56, a longtime friend and confidant, well known for his coffee shop Bible lessons. Men of Manresa. Emmett Smith, 55, group captain. He got me in group 15 19 years ago. The Catholic Community Foundation. Bob Menard, 54, encouraged us to open a family fund. Peter Quirk, 54, Charlie Heim, 59, and Corey Howard, 93, all have been executive directors, each continually revitalizing the foundation. The North Shore, South Shore Bible Study Group. Larry McNamara, 56, 20 years ago, formed the group and leads 8 Jesuit graduates, and 2 interlopers from De La Salle in a monthly Bible study. The Order of the Holy Sepulchre, a Catholic papal order which supports Christians in the Holy Land. Clayton Charbonnet, 38, Robert Acom, 47, A.J. Caprito, 48, Ray Garrity, 57, my 4 predecessors who had governed the southeastern United States region before my term of office. Lesson learned. Get involved in a worthy cause. Lesson 5, friendship. There were 171 graduates in 1959. I knew them all by face and name. 91 of them are still living. I consider them all friends. We now lunch and Zoom together monthly. After graduation, in college and marriage, 4 of us, Roy Shelley, Tom Canale, Eddie Rice, and I, who shared the same homeroom for 5 years, became even closer friends. Our wives fit together as well or better than we. As a group, we celebrated children's birthdays, vacations, played golf and tennis, watched the St. Patrick's Day parades on Metairie Road, celebrated home mass every Christmas, buried our parents, and even some siblings. Tom and Eddie sat with my wife Sharon while I had 2 major surgeries. Roy and Tom have left us for their eternal reward, but are here tonight with us in spirit. Eddie, who sat next to me when we took the entrance exam in 1954, became my first friend at Jesuit. He's here tonight. He has been my unwavering friend in good times and in bad through all of these years. I could not ask for a better friend. Lesson learned, make and keep friends. On November the 14th, 1958, Jesuit played Pensacola High in Florida. Another friend and classmate invited his girlfriend, who brought along a friend, Sharon Ryan. I was saving their bus seats. I knew she was special right away. 5.5 years later, on the Feast of St. Mark in St. Dominic's Church, we were engaged. Now married 56 years, blessed with 2 wonderful daughters, Shannon Nash and Erin Rotolo, 2 outstanding sons-in-law, Michael and Brian, 6 beautiful grandchildren, Ryan Louise, Michael and Claire Nash, Megan Merrick, and Morgan Rotolo. Not only did Jesuit provide me a good education, a life's compass for direction, great life's lessons, and a gift of lifelong friends, but it also introduced me to my wife. So, hail, star of my youthful years, this sun acclaims you. Thanks for the beams that illuminated my heart and mind, for the wisdom you advanced. Continue to lead me to the ultimate victory we will find in the heavenly spheres. Thank you, Jesuit. Ad maiorem Dei gloriam.